Hello, this is Fong. I'm going to talk about cryptocurrency today. And I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of the term cryptocurrency from TV, news, internet videos. And what captures our attention the most is its price. At the height of the market, one Bitcoin costs $68,000. $68,000. Let me put you into perspective. If I have 10 of those Bitcoins, I will be able to buy a pretty comfortable house in Cincinnati. That makes you wonder, what is digital currency? How digital currency is being created? What are the difference between different types of digital currencies? Can we use digital currency as regular payment like US dollar? Can we invest in digital currency? What are the risks involved? After we discuss all of these topics, we draw our conclusions. And at the end of the presentation, I'm going to pose some questions for you guys to think about. Let's get started. What's Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a digital currency only exists on the internet, and there's no physical forms. And Bitcoin idea was created from a white paper written by Satoshi Nakamoto. Until today, nobody truly knows who Mr. Nakamoto truly is. His identity is still a mystery. Cryptocurrency is created, distributed, traded, and stored with the use of a decentralized ledger system known as blockchains, which is just a fancy term saying digital currency is just a magical number exists on the internet. So how cryptocurrency is created? Cryptocurrency is created by crypto mining. And before we get into details of that, let's take a look at what a traditional payment system looks like. Let's say you want to go to Starbucks to buy a latte with your credit cards. First, Starbucks needs to record that transaction and send it to the credit card company. And after that, after a couple of days, after the credit card company validates your transaction, it sends a payment back to Starbucks and pay for your latte. And at the end of the month, the credit card company is going to send you a statement with all the transactions that you have made within that month, and you will pay for it with the money in your bank. And so there is a lot of company involved in a simple transaction like that. But in the crypto world, the payment system is much simpler. There's only three entities involved: you, Starbucks, and the miners. So if you want to use cryptocurrency to buy a latte from Starbucks, all you have to do is send your transactions to the miners. And after the miner validates your transaction, it will send the payment to Starbucks, and Starbucks will send you the latte. And after the miners validate your transactions, they will get paid by Bitcoins. And the Bitcoin is generated by the Bitcoin algorithm. That's actually how Bitcoin is getting created. As the Bitcoin price soars, there are more and more miners who want to join the game. And if there are multiple miners validating the same blocks of transactions, and the fastest miner who get to the answer finish the work the quickest, they will get rewarded by the Bitcoins. And there are a total of 21 million Bitcoins can be ever mined. According to the Bitcoin algorithm, as more and more transactions are being validated, the last Bitcoin will be mined in 2140, which is 120 years from now. And there is one downside of crypto mining, which is e-waste. In order to finish validating all the transactions, mining rigs need to consume a lot of electrical power. Nowadays, electrical power are generated by fossil fuels, and it creates a detrimental impact to our environment. And what are the different types of cryptocurrency out there? As of January 2022, there are more than 8,000 cryptocurrencies exist on the market. The three biggest players by market cap is Bitcoin, Ether, and Tether. In this presentation, I'm going to use Bitcoin and Ether as an example to tell what the difference between them. The biggest difference between these two currencies are the design of their software implementations. First, Bitcoin is designed to be an alternative of our US dollar. Ether, on the other hand, is more sophisticated and is a platform to facilitate secure transactions and host applications such as DeFi apps to run on their networks using their currencies. DeFi apps stand for decentralized financial applications, and one example would be the peer-to-peer loan system. And what's the difference between cryptocurrency and the dollar? Can we use it as a payment, just like we use our dollars? The answer is maybe. US dollar is backed by and regulated by US government. And on the other hand, no government in the world backs or regulates any digital currency. And also, digital currency is not very durable. If you lose your key, you lose your digital currency. In 2013, a man in the UK threw away his old computer while he's doing spring cleaning. Unfortunately, he forgot there are 7,500 Bitcoin on it. With today's price, it's worth $350 million. And after 8 years, this guy is still trying to dig through landfills, trying to find his old computer. And if we cannot use it, can we invest in it? The answer is yes. If you have the stomach for it, there are a lot of risk involved. To invest in cryptocurrency, first, you need to understand the regulatory risk. Bitcoin is a direct competitor with US dollar, and US dollar is the reserve currency for international trades. I will be surprised if US government is not going to regulate digital currencies. As a matter of fact, in 2005, New York Department of Financial Services imposed a regulation to record any cryptocurrency transactions that are more than $10,000. And there are security risks as well. Bitcoin or any digital currency is just a software application that are running on the internet. Any software application can be hacked. In 2014, in Japan, an exchange was attacked by a group of hackers, and millions of digital currency was stolen, and the exchange was forced to close down. Also, it's very easy for scammer to defraud investors because the creator of any digital currency is anonymous. Remember Mr. Nakamoto? And one example of that is something called Squidcoin. Do you guys know about the popular TV show on Netflix called Squid Game? And somebody created a Squidcoin because its popularity, the price was increased from $3 to $3,000 in a matter of days. But the investors did not find out they are scammed until they trying to exchange their Squidcoins on the exchange. And they couldn't do it because Squidcoin does not exist. By that time, the scammers has already sold their holdings and long gone. And also, trading digital currency is really volatile. The biggest one-day price drop for Bitcoin is 61% in 2003. In 2004, the drop is even more, 80% in a day. If that happens to my investment portfolio, I won't be able to sleep at night. Conclusions. digital currency only exists on the internet. It relies on the miner to validate the cryptocurrency transactions. There are multiple types of cryptocurrency in existence, and there's still a long way to go for Bitcoin to become a mainstream payment system. If you want to invest in cryptocurrency, it's very risky. And if you want to speculate in digital currency, I would rather go to Las Vegas, play some card games, play some roulettes. Maybe I can spend less money and get a trip out of it. That will be my conclusion. And after we discuss all that, here's all the questions that I want you guys to think about. Do you think we should use cryptocurrency as a form of payment for day-to-day transactions? How to solve crypto mining's environmental impacts? Should the government regulate cryptocurrencies? Is cryptocurrency a good asset class for investment? Why don't you guys think about that? And thank you. That concludes today's discussion. And here's my references.